Sairam, everyone. We will just recollect, discussed last week before continuing on. Swami is talking about 3 stages of growth in our path of spirituality. And he says in the first stage of childhood, it is like being in the hands of the mother. And at that point in time, things may not be progressing in a systematic and steady step-by-step method. However, he says when we get into adolescent or youth, we are in the hands of the Lord Shiva, or the father figure. And at that point in time, we cannot afford to make any mistakes. We should be very careful, is what we discussed, I think, before we left off last week. So we'll continue from there, Sayal.
Spiritual development. There are 3 stages of spiritual development. First, the hazy, uncertain stage, then the active stage of striving, and last, the highest stage. These are the stages of passivity, tamas, activity, rajas, and purity, sattva. When growing out of the first stage into the second, it is unnatural for a person not to improve step by step. So, the 3 stages of growth. The period from childhood to adolescence need not be seriously taken into account. One need not worry much about it. With the dawn of adolescence, one enters upon the first hazy, uncertain stage and engages in many fruitless activities. Later, one attains ripeness and strength. This is the stage between the uncertain and the certain. It is when one has reached this intermediate stage and one must yearn for the fulfillment that is possible in the final stage. In the rules of penance, tapas, this law is also observed. At first, ritual worship, puja, is associated with the divine energy Shakti, and the subsequent stage of worship is connected with Siva. That is to say, the period when one is under the care of the mother is over and the period of paternal care, the protection of the renovator and the guardian of the universe, Siva, is reached. When the stage of paternal care is come, one should not soil the body and mind as during the period of maternal care. So,
Thank you very much, sister. So this is what I had briefly mentioned. If anyone has something to share or discuss, please go ahead. Sai. I think Swami is discussing this a little further in the next few paragraphs also. Maybe so we will read them and maybe we can discuss also, I guess.
so in the intermediate stage, that is to say, at the particular age, one will have certain natural propensities and tendencies that are not desirable and have to be eschewed. These are conceit, mischievousness, obstinacy, inquisitiveness, lust, greed, shame, fear, vengefulness, disgust, etc. As long as one has these, one cannot surrender oneself to Siva. These tendencies have to be uprooted completely, or at least there should be a systematic endeavor to get rid of them. Such aspirants will have to be swimming against the current. Proceeding against the current is the means to reach the source. Floating with the current means getting farther and farther from it and losing sight of goal. Of course, swimming up the river is a bit hard, but every stroke takes you nearer to and not farther from the goal. To overcome the strain, one must have the craft called meditation. Through meditation, the weakness of the physical frame can be overcome, the wayward speed of the mind can be controlled, and progress towards the seat of grace is made easy. One can attain the primordial divine force, Adimurti. Instead, if one cares more for the ease of the journey and floats along the current, one would be traveling away from grace, turning their back on it. The primordial divine force will gradually become distant and disappear. People who float along with the current will get lost in increasing misery, and for what profit?
Okay, thank you, sister. Swami has further gone on to explain to us things which are not desirable and which we should guard against. And it is also telling us that our swim towards the source from which we came is against the current of the world, I guess. And so he wants us to make that effort of swimming against the current. So I will stop here, and if anyone has something to share by way of your impression, please go ahead, Sai.
So, Sairam, brother, Swami is nicely explaining that you have to start when you are young. So, you have to yearn for the final stage. So, when you have the goal only, you can start to develop yourself and started to develop the good qualities. So, so you know that our desires and bad qualities, you have to swim against to that one. You should not go with the flow, whatever the surrounding, whatever the desire. Then eventually, when you go with the flow, then you will lose that whatever the final stage or spiritual thing. So you have to swim against to the desire, all the bad qualities. You can achieve the goal. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share any thought?
We all came from God, no? That we came with that all the vasanas and good qualities and bad qualities. That until we have the bad qualities, we cannot get back to God. The aim is to go back to God. That yeah, the flow that the worldly flow, we cannot go through them with the flow. That's not right way we are going. That we had to go against that. The flow, that we had to swim again to that God way, then we can reach God. That's he's saying that, and we have to be careful that they choose that right way, right path to go to God. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else?
Sai Ram, I want to maybe this is a question, maybe. Swami is talking about this natural propensities and tendencies. Say, for instance, a lion in the forest. It wants to be dominating the space that they live in. Say the male lion wants to be a dominant force in the particular in the group. It wouldn't allow any other male lion into that territory for him. So if it's a snake, it has a tendency. Okay, if something happening, it has to protect it, so it start either biting it or hissing it or whatever it is. So by tendencies, these are natural tendencies to the animals. It's animals. But when it comes to man, so because of those bad qualities, I think, like the nations are divided, even the families are divided because of these bad qualities that we have within us. So, but Swami is saying this is a natural tendency. Is that we came with this package, or did we get this from this society that we are living in? How is it kicking in, the natural tendencies? Say for a child, say even in Pandava's case, Pandavas and Duryodhana's side, they were in the same family or the offspring, whatever it is. But is that come from what kind of thing that came into them, those sort of different qualities? Where did it is because of the vasanas, or what are they? How did they come into that kind of stage? Saira.
Sairam, brother, thank you very much. It's a nice question to generate some discussion. So I would open it up for the participants to share your thoughts. Brother has posed a nice question.
So my understanding is, brother, compared to human and the animals, the common thing is food, fear, sleep, and sexual union. So, but additionally, the human, we have the power, acquire knowledge. We have to know how to discriminate what is good and bad. In Pandava's case, the parents taught the good and bad. They listen to the parents, they listen to the gurus. But Gaurava's stage, the parents didn't teach anything. They were supporting for the kids, whatever they want. So the good qualities you have to build up. You have to listen to the elderly people, whoever talking to you. Then that is a way we build up our good qualities. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Any other thoughts, please, from anyone?
Saira, actually, Arul's question is how these bad qualities or propensities originated in man, whether he is collecting in this birth or it is coming from previous birth. And if it is coming from previous birth, when did we start to collect these vasanas or these qualities? So it is not, we can't just answer it, because only we know is what is the present is decided by the past. In any case, in any way, the present is decided by the past. So we had in the past these qualities. There is no doubt in that one. But when did we start to collect, in what birth? Whether we started to collect in the form of trees or in the form of other insects? No. So so we have to come to a conclusion that when we started from God, we should have been pure, of course. God is Sattvam, so we would have been pure, of course. But in the beginning or in the middle, we don't know when, probably probably in a higher births like animals and birds and animals and humans and above, we collected, we only know that we collected these vasanas. Only that we know. We don't know how we collected and everything. So we had collected and we are taking it from birth to birth. Sometimes in the previous births, we adding more, and sometimes we deduct these vasanas through our past births good actions, and with the net result, with a certain net result, we are here. So now the oral question is that, but that we cannot say, according to the scriptures, we cannot say we are collecting this one from the current society or schooling, or the schooling and society help us either develop more of these propensities or reduce our propensities. But the propensities were brought with us during previous births. We don't know how many births back. That's the thing. So only for certain, the present is decided by the past. That is a common sense and logic. That's logic. We don't need to spend time on that, but it's a logic, common logic. So the cause and effect. So the current effect is caused a certain previous act. So only that we know. So only the current duty is to follow. We have a Guru and God, Sai Baba, very, very rare chance, very, very rare chance. So now he is guiding us, and we have to follow that in order to remove this conceit, mischievousness, obstinacy, inquisitiveness, lust, greed, shame, fear, vengefulness, disgust. There are 10 he has listed. So even here in the other paragraph, he is speaking about this one. Unless we correct this, remove these bad tendencies, we cannot reach him actually. So that what I could like to share this. But
Sai Ram, my understanding from this paragraph, all the previous brother Sivadas, brother Dasan, they have already attended some of the important points. My understanding from this paragraph, we cannot change, we cannot change much on this birth, because all the vasanas, or our current birth is decided from our previous birth and our vasanas. But what Swami tries to tell us in this paragraph, but we can determine our future birth from what we really practicing or doing the sadhanas. By doing our sadhanas, we can determine how to reach our destination in the future. That's what I got it from this the paragraph in all the natural propensities and tendencies and everything. But the important point, I got it from this one. This birth is the gifted birth to you. You practice whatever taught by me or any gurus. Practice those, and if you practice carefully, then only you can pass the worldly things, and you can reach your goal. And otherwise, you would lose the sight of the goal and you would be wandering again and again. That sort of understanding I got it from this passage, but lovely, they said by Swami. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, brother, I'd like to add to these comments too. So future birth, we don't know what is going to be future birth. So in this birth, we have given all the opportunities, everything. So why we had to postpone that one? If you have faith, that's what Swami say, faith and patience, or you can say Shraddha and Saburi. So you have given all the materials, all the things and everything. If we cannot achieve in this one, it's very difficult for the future. Even Pandava's case, even though past karma only, they have to go through all the difficulties. But when they listen to the gurus and parents and everything, in the end, they achieve the goal. Thank you, Sairam, brother.
Thank you very much.
Sairam.
Yes, Auntie.
Man is born with certain natural tendencies. For example, even in a child, you can see that shame and fear, and there is obstinacy, inquisitiveness, all these very, very natural to small children. But this conceit, mischievousness, vengefulness, all these will come up later on as they grow up. Because some of the qualities what Swami has described is from the past birth also, or impressions of the past life. So many lives we have collected all these impressions. In the present life, we are having all those qualities. I cannot say quality, it is some of these propensities or tendencies. But what Swami is trying to tell is to overcome these bad things is just like upright swimming against the current. Vetireka pravaha gati. What is Swami saying? Vetireka pravaha gati. It is very difficult, of course, to overcome all these. We have to make a lot of effort, just like swimming against the current. If we are given a chance to go along with the current, floating with the current means that we will be getting involved in all these things, conceit, mischievousness, and we will be going away from the sight of the Lord. So Swami is saying, the present birth is given to you to either to make it or to mar it. Saira. Saira.
Saira, Auntie, thank you. Anyone else? So I think everyone pointed out nicely. But this, I thought I will just, one sentence sort of stuck at me, so I thought I'll just read it. As long as one has these, one cannot surrender oneself to Shiva. Swami is saying that when we have these tendencies, any of these tendencies, we cannot, apparently we cannot surrender. Because sometimes we, even to get over this, we think, oh Lord, I have surrendered, you take care of this. But Swami says even that is not possible. So I just wonder, and then he goes on to say, we have to at least make a systematic endeavor, so he's very, very clearly saying, in the previous one, he said, there's no regular, krama, like that he said. But in this case, he's saying we have to consciously do something very systematic. I thought I would just point those two out. So I think there's work to be done by us, it looks like. So I thought that sort of struck me. If no one has anything to share, maybe we can go on to the next slide.
Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. Very good explanations to me. I loved it. Every one of you input on this question. Thank you very much, Sairam.
Sairam, but Bhagawan is giving help. Use the raft called meditation to swim against the current. So that one also, brother pointed out nicely, Brother Nodin. So the 2 points. So Baba is giving help, saying that use the meditation as the raft to swim against this flow, river flow. So that is what we are studying, Dhyana Vahini. So that's good. Yeah, thank you.
And also one more, the great point Swami is mentioning on the last line here, people who float along the current will get lost in the increasing misery. He's asking a question, and for what profit? That's a beautiful question,
Yeah.
because I don't know when we are going to realize that kind of, and for what profit? At the end of the life, I don't know, many of you may be very young and you may not realize those kind of things, but after all, we fight, say, to at least to my knowledge is that the time we spend to make our living, we don't spend that much, 1/100th of those time to meditate on God. We don't sit in front of the altar to spend at least 1/100th of the time that we spend to make up, say we get up in the morning and go to work and all these things, and we coming back. But after all, we don't even spend at least, a few minutes in front of the altar to think of God. That's so, and that is what Swami is asking. And for what profit? After all, we realize it. There's no meaning in this life unless we strive to go towards the God. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you. And also, here in the first paragraph, one is saying these tendencies have to be uprooted completely, or at least there should be a systematic endeavor to get rid of them. So his first preference is he wants us to uproot it and get surrender, as Brother nicely pointed out. For surrendering purpose, we should uproot these tendencies. So at least that's that Brother Sister Anandi pointed out that at least there should be a systematic endeavor to get rid of them. So if we think it's too much, is it too heavy, then we have to do at least systematic endeavor so that in the coming birth we can reach the goal. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, brother.
Sairam, just a question about the first line where it says, that is to say, at that particular age. I'm assuming it doesn't refer to like a, age in terms of years, like with your adolescent or child. I'm assuming it refers to like your intermediate stage in spiritual development.
It was a confusing thing, and here it looks like clearly I was thinking. So intermediate stages where the adolescents, just after adolescence, we have this conceit, mischievous obstinacy, everything. So this is the middle stage. Before adolescence, Bhagawan said, so don't take too much care about that. It is just ignore it. Then from adolescence, that is the intermediate stage after adolescence. So we have to, in this stage, we have to look into this aspect. Only then, the third stage, we can be fully surrendered to God and do complete sadhana, service and everything, being useful life, and at the end you reach the source or something like that. That's what I understood. But brother can explain more of this one.
Yeah, I will open it up for anyone else to comment also, please.
So, Sairam, brother. So this intermediate age, when the childhood, when the child type, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You don't understand that one. Look at Aruno, brother Aruno. He started when he was 17. So 15 or 17. So because of he started early and he put that final stage. That is the, because then he started to learn everything. So because of that, he can go through all the problems and he can stay onto the right path. If any problems comes, he can walk on the path. Any difficulties, anything against or anything, he knows how to handle it. So we have to start early stage. That's my understanding. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, this is Saku auntie. In the coming births, even though we do all these things, if we get lost here in this birth, the coming birth, what guarantee we have?
Human.
Because there won't be, you can get lost again. So this is my question.
Diana, we came through several births, no? We don't know how state we are. And previous birth what I was. And we have to start early. Then we got that in this birth we can do whatever we can achieve the goal. I think that because only 7 days taken for that Parichet to get that liberation. He only took 7 days. And I think that we try our best, maybe we can reach the goal. That's what Swami says, I guess, that we surrender, we put our full effort, put the namasmrana, then meditation. This is tools we can have that Swami says that we can reach the goals. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you.
Sairam, I think we all did good on this back home when we are studying in religious studies and going temples and listening from parents and doing pujas and everything. We started in early age. Even we do all our pujas and everything started in early age too. I think we are in good hand, and we learned that is also helping us to Swami's teaching also. We learned so much, then we are now repeating. Is when I say Sivadas and Vimalesan and everything, when they talk, so lots of things they talk in, speak in Tamil, lots of things from other jnanis and everything, we learn in small age. The same thing we are repeating. Swami is only reminding us, whatever we study and everything, we don't come like only studying like now. We are studying from beginning. Anyway, that's what Swami is telling here. Sairam.
Sairam,
Yes.
this is Balanti here.
Go ahead, please. Yeah.
I feel that already we are in this human form, and we have to make the best use of it. In certain places, Swami had said that whatever you do, all sadhanas, it has its value in the next birth. I don't know about the next birth, even of me. We don't know we are going to be in the human form next, so that we can strive hard to get over this ocean of birth and death. But whatever is given now, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. So we have to concentrate the intense love you have for Swami, and you ask him to direct us on the proper path. And wherever we leave, the next one will be continuation of it. It doesn't go waste. Whatever we do in this birth, definitely it has its weight or continuation in the next birth. So let us hope for the best and make use of this birth and the present time in a very useful way. Maybe sometimes it's difficult for people. And when it is difficult, you pray to Swami to direct us and give us the strength to go. Only the intensity of the hope and love we have at the back, definitely, and so merciful Lord will listen to us and direct us on the correct path. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank
you very much, Auntie. Anyone else has something to say?
I have a question on the previous paragraphs. That's in the rules of penance, if you don't mind, if you could bring the previous slide. Okay, so Swami is talking about in the rules of penance. This law is also observed at the first ritual worship. I didn't understand that paragraph though. The third paragraph on this slide. At first, ritual worship is associated with divine energy, Shakti, and subsequent stage of worship is connected with Siva. I didn't understand this paragraph.
So I think in the translations, there's something additional put here. And I think Mani Aunty can correct me. Because Swami says, Modati Pujalu Shaktito Cheri Undu. See, Swami just straight away making a statement. In the first place, Modati Pujalu means the first pujas are always related to Shakti. Then Madhya Puja means in the middle, the puja is to the Shiva, to Shiva.
Yeah.
Auntie,
Yeah. మొదటి పూజలు శక్తితో చేరి ఉండును, మధ్య పూజ శివునితో చేరి ఉండును. తల్లి సంరక్షణములో ఉండే వయస్సు మానవునకు గడిచినది. లోకోద్ధారకుడైన శివుని శరణు వేడే సమయము తటస్థించును. శరీరమును మనసును మలినమును చేసుకొనుటక ఇప్పుడు తరుణము కాదు. There is not the time to spoil our minds with our
body and mind.
Modati puja shaktito, but that means he is under the care of the mother. So that puja which we do, it is just like ritual worship. He is associated with divine energy, Shakti puja. Then we pass on to Shiva puja. That is, we are now connected with Shiva, Father. I think Swami is trying to tell us about one is under the care of the mother, first one, and then that's over. Then we come to paternal care, the protection of the renovator and guardian of the universe, Shiva. So we come under Shiva's protection.
Okay, so I think whether your question was in the rules of penance, that's what you're asking. Swami, there's no such statement in the Telugu version. Swami saying the puja is done to the Shakti and then it's done to Shiva. That's what he says. And I think he's relating that to the human birth also. The child is first looked after by the mother and then by the father. And then he comes on to this question of in the young age. I think that's where Sister Kalyana's question is. I will just comment on her question. I think Swami is drawing a parallel to the physical growth in terms of age. Along in the same manner, it is the same thing holds good in the spiritual progress also. So you can take the same explanation either from a physical growth perspective, childhood, adolescence, and so on. And it's the same thing applies to the spiritual growth also, is what I understand. It's applicable to both. I think that underlines the importance that, whenever we take another birth, again, we are going to waste a lot of time because we will be children for some time, even in that birth. So another, you're guaranteed to, give up about 16, 17 years, from childhood to until you reach a point where you can. So that is why many rishis want to achieve, as many of the participants have pointed out, we should make the maximum now, because now that we have come to a certain stage and we have access to what Swami is teaching, we should make the full use of it. Because when we again start, we will lose a lot of time, because we have to be born somewhere, we don't know where we are going to be born, and what are the challenges we will face. Again, coming to the same level, it will take time, because we have to start from scratch to some extent. I think Swami is sort of giving us an understanding of both. Even if you take another birth, as many have spoken about it, it's going to take us time to get to this point where we are today. Trying to read and trying to understand. So, but it's the same thing in the spiritual field also. So he says you have to progress there as well. I think those are two. I hope Kalyani, you're okay with all the comments and.
Yes, thank you very much. Just upon the answer you just gave about Arul Uncle's question, the fact that, Swami saying the first pujas are related to Shakti and then the subsequent pujas are related to Shiva, is that like something that's a tradition, or is that how pujas are normally done?
I don't know personally. I will ask others. I have not studied the puja.
Oh, Sairam, brother. So my understanding is when you do the puja, it's like attending the bhajan and everything. These are tools that to control the mind and go onto the spiritual path. This will develop the good qualities. And at the same time, I'd like to add one more point. Past is past. Future, we don't know. So we have to live in the moment. Thank you, Saira.
I will do some research and come back next time, Kalyani. So, okay, unless somebody has something to say.
Sairam, I think, brother, I don't know, you last time you talk about the, the Shiva's thing, Shiva's and Shakti thing. The both has the thing we have to, both powers we need. When we grow in mother's womb and when we come out, mother is the one first we start everything for us. That's what we are. First puja is we are learning the mother's puja, then then father into the same way is religious also, I think, Sairam.
Thank you very much, sister.
Just about the tendencies that Swami has mentioned here, I see most of them, are obviously negative tendencies. But then inquisitiveness and disgust, I felt, can be beneficial. And I guess we talked about it today or yesterday morning, how I guess inquisitiveness without any purpose or asking questions without a purpose, that can be a hindrance. But I guess true inquiry and inquisitiveness, I feel like that can be beneficial. And even disgust, if you have disgust for worldly things, that can also be beneficial. So I just was wondering about that.
Yeah, so it's good. I think you're asking because sometimes in the translation, some of the words may not be properly translated. Swami uses the word garvamu for conceit, penkitanamu for mischievousness, and he uses the word shodhana. Shodhana means
inquisitiveness.
Is it testing or inquisitiveness?
Inquisitiveness. Shodhana is inquisitiveness.
Okay, so that's the word. But I think Swami is relating to some negative tendencies of the Shodhana, possibly.
Vancha is lust. Siggu is fear. Disgust is asakya swabhavam. Asakya bhavam.
Because Shodhana is a word, it has multiple meanings also. Some purification is also another meaning of that. So, so I think it has some negative tendencies. I think Swami is referring to that, I would say. The negative inquisitiveness of sort, if you want to say. Because if you look at the dictionary, it gives multiple meanings, which like investigation, even excrement is called examination, correction. There are many meanings which are given for the word Shodhana. So I would say we should take the negative tendency as, because Swami has already previously sent that in the previous paragraph, if Swami is talking about certain things which have to be given up, negative tendencies, Swami has said. So I think he's just elaborating on that.
And that term Adi Murti, I'm not so familiar with that. Divine force.
Primordial divine force.
Adi
We can
is,
take it to be. Yeah, go ahead, please.
so Adi is the origin or ancient, So Swami is basically saying we have to go back to, Swami always tells where you have come from, we have to go back there.
Yeah.
Okay. Auntie, is it right, Auntie?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are born from Brahman, go back to Brahman.
Yeah.
Adimurti is Brahman.
Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Brahmamuga, is it Utpatti Sthanamunu? Swami says, auntie.
Yeah, క్రమముగా ఉత్పత్తి స్థానమును చేరునే గాని సాధారణముగా ప్రవాహము వెంబడి తేలుతూ పోయిన క్షేమస్థానములకు అంతకంతకు దూరమే. అదే కాక మునుగుతూ తేలుతూ క్షణమైనను విశ్రాంతి లేక గమ్యమును సహితము పొందలేక పోవుచున్నాడు. Utpatti Sthanam is the origin.
So Swami has used the word Utpatti Sthanam, which is the place of origin in the first paragraph.
Origin.
He has used the word Adi Murti, which is more or less refers to the same thing.
So we can use the word of source here, no? It's better, no?
Yes, source, yes.
Yeah.
Original source, yeah.
Sairam, brother.
Yes,
yes. What is in the second paragraph is saying to overcome the strain? Which one they are referring here?
Sister, do you know, have you ever swimming? No, this. When you swim against the current, it's a big strain. So, you cannot keep up for a long time. So sometimes you have to rest so that you can swim again. So Swami is telling, when you again swimming against the current, whenever you get tired, go back to, take the raft of meditation and then again swim. I think that's what Swami is telling. That's my understanding. I will open it up for others to comment. I think everyone should take up a swimming class and swim against the current.
to experience that.
Actually,
Saira, when we are swimming at the river, no, this river is flowing the one direction.
Yeah.
Swimming against that, very difficult to swim, no?
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, but Sister Aruna's question is, what is meant by strain? Here, that is, we say that these are 10 propensities are there. If we accept and we promote these 10 tendencies, that means we going along the flow of the river, regular flow. If we can remove these propensities, and if we can swim against the flow of the current, so there's a strain, there is a difficulty. So the raft is there, the boat is there, the boat is meditation. So if we are in the boat of meditation, we can go against the flow of the river and reach the source. So here indirectly it is strain here is these 10 qualities, get rid of the 10 propensities. So that is what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm giving us two choices, it looks like. One is you swim, or you get on the raft of meditation and then go.
Yeah, both options, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Saram brother, that means under the Sakti devotion, you have to do all kind of spiritual thing, all the tools, use all the tools and everything, and try to build up the good qualities to get ready for the under the Shiva's thing. Once you go to the Shiva's under Sivas, you should not have this kind of qualities. He's
Yeah.
not going to accept this one.
Yeah.
So you have to clear, uprooted everything.
Mm.
Then only he's going to accept that one to do the meditation, proper meditation. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, to me, to overcome the strain, as Brother Arun said, that you might have to take a break. And this is, I'm talking about something, at times it came to my mind. When you're on a spiritual path, it's very challenging. Spirituality is not easy. And you said, really, I really need to be on this path. It's so much challenges and I can't be loving all the time. So it could be possible for many of us to give up and just go with the flow. So it's very hard to build. We have to build that resistance. No, I have chosen this path. I'm going to continue whatever it is, and I'm going to continue. And Swami has very well said that meditation will help you. You will find challenges. There might be challenges that you want to go with the flow, but once you are here, these challenges will help you to be closer to me or to realize your own divinity. It's so nice. I am.
Thank you very much. Sister Aruna, you okay with the strain? I don't know.
For the meditation, to start the meditation, we have to uproot the bad qualities that was mentioned, like 10, right? To overcome the strain, where that start from? That's what I'm trying to think.
Okay. So the sister's question is okay. Sister has now framed the question well. Because in the previous chapters, we say that we have to uproot the bad qualities.
Mm.
Now, if meditation is the raft to cross those bad qualities, so then how does it work? Is it right, sister?
Yes, because we are saying one way we have this and overcome the strain, which one we don't know to define. Then thereafter only meditation. Meditation, it says we have to surrender. So for that we have to clear all our bad things. But here the strain means, I am trying to understand, and then the meditation. So strain means then we have to all clear those bad qualities. Then I didn't understand the strain. Then we can do the meditation. That's the boat they have to take it to. Then we can overcome the physical frame. So that's a little bit of
Good
thing
question.
to understand. Yeah.
Okay. I will open it up for discussion. Anyone has something to share?
The worldly desires, this is strain, so that we have to overcome with that namasmarana. Then we can go to this meditation. That's my understanding. Thank you, sir.
Sairam,
Yes,
Balanti here.
Yes.
My humble opinion is, as we go praying with intensity and love, little by little, all our bad qualities will go away. We can't be waiting till all the bad qualities to get got over.
Yeah.
As we pray and ask for help from Swami, definitely, little by little, those bad qualities, we will realize that we have that quality and we will try to come over it.
Yeah.
So it is our prayers and maybe the meditation, little bit of meditation to start with, that will calm your mind. And when the mind is calm, we will be able to realize our shortcomings and bad tempers and all that. So little by little, we will get over these bad qualities. We don't wait till all the bad qualities to get over. Nobody can do it. So little by little, we will get over it and progress on the path towards God. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you very much.
Sairam, brother, when you go to the next paragraphs, it's talking about the meditation and the namasvarana. Those will strain our bad quality. Whatever the mention about the 10 bad qualities, it will strain. So when you go to the next paragraphs, it's talking about that one. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. One thing we have to note it here is the meditation, always Bhavan has been saying until now, is a method of purification of our mind. Even in the Gita, there is a first sloka is saying this one, purification of the mind. Baba has said it and revered it there. So, for this purification, the meditation has to be used. Then, when the mind is fully purified, we may ask what is next. So, actually, real bliss and the real, we are in the final, say samadhi, say for example, samadhi. So that is the real state, jnani state, to help the world, everybody. So that is a very, very, very precious moment. So to reach that samadhi state, where we see everybody as equal, use meditation as a tool or the purification tool. But sister had a reasonable question, because in the previous passages it was stated a little bit differently. But we had to take the the contextual point. The contextual point is that, as Sister Bala and he said, that is very appropriate. So I need not repeat it. So let us, we can do that like it. Thank you, Zahira.
Yeah. Yes, thank you for, because I think that is going along with that too, because through the meditation, then the bad qualities goes away, then you will always come out of the physical frame, can be overcome too.
Yeah.
Yes, so that goes with that. Thank you, Saira.
So, sister, I think I will just, the thing is, in the path of spirituality, everyone says what we are doing is good, it will take us. So many people say we are doing seva, it's going to take us to Swami. Some people say, we are doing bhajan, it will take us. But what Swami is telling here is, in all these paths, you are trying to overcome the bad qualities. Okay, but he says in the path of meditation, it reduces the strain of that journey. So, for example, if you had reached a goal, if you just walk and go, you may be tired. You can take a bicycle and go, it will reduce the strain a little. You can sit in a car and drive. So he's saying, what is this meditation? Is the name and form which Brother Dasan has said. If people neglect that, they are walking on bare foot. Can they reach? Yes, they can reach, but the strain will be too much. He says, if you go with the meditation also, and you are again traveling against the current. But the meditation of which is Namasmarana and the Dhyana on the Lord will help you reduce that strain of that journey, is my understanding. In both cases, bad qualities have to be given up.
Yeah.
But as Bala Aunty pointed out, if you pray, if you ask, which is the meditation, things will be a bit more easily crossed.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll move
Sairam,
to
Sairam, I think whatever we study here, we have to practice and transform and experience it. Then is slowly to understand, Balanti also say the same way. Whatever, we can draw a line or something, okay, this is bad quality, I had to remove. Whatever we, Swami asked us to do, the study circle, whatever we learn here, we had to practice and, and transform it. And slowly we will get it. In Tamil, we say, whatever we study, we keep it in a study and notes form like that. Then we had to put it in our mind and practice it every day whenever we have. If the meditation is when we get up in the morning until go to bed, we can do meditation. Like you don't have to sit and do meditation. You can do by yourself whatever your actions. Sairam.
Thank you, sisters. Thank you. We'll go to the next slide.
The evil tendencies mentioned above are the causes for this tragedy. If only they had been overcome, the divine source could have been certainly reached. Without striving for that, all activities will end in failure. Moreover, the world loves only good people, people endowed with good qualities. It keeps bad people at a distance. Exterior charm attracts the animal. Internal charm, resulting from character, pleases the Lord. Do not be tempted by the low tastes of the world and the cheap regard that people bestow. Strive for the holy grace and love of the Lord. The affection that people shower is inconstant, for it depends on their likes and dislikes. But the love that the Lord bears to you depends on your good qualities alone. It can also give you permanent joy. Those who are enamored of the external will tumble into disappointment and sorrow every now and then. Beauty consists in character, not in anything else. There is nothing more charming than that.
Thank you very much, sister. Again, Swami is stressing on the need for cultivating good qualities. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts?
So I like this the line, strive for the holy grace and love of the Lord. So God is love. So how we can, so we have to be loved to connect with the God. So meditation, those kind of things, it will bring us the good quality. Then that quality will produce the love. So we can connect with the God from that one. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts?
Iram, in here in the third line, Swami says the world loves only good people. So in this context, this world is the spiritual world, or the sometimes world loves bad people too. So here the Swami is referring the world is the spiritual world, or it's like the common world.
Sairam,
Sairam, I think I would like to say something for that
go ahead.
question. That now in Tamil, I think in the learned, the traditional, and there's a phrase used to be said, "Ulagam என்பது உயர்ந்தோர் மாட்டே." That means when you say world, it means who have evolved. That's a traditional meaning. So I think here is somewhat similar. Here, world means those the evolved people. That is in this contextual meaning is that side.
Yeah.
Thank you. It makes sense.
Even generally, okay, the plus what Brother Vimalasan said, even generally, we see a handful people, not up to the mark. Usually, in a society, we go to just a society. See, or a few people. So those people are not welcomed by the other people. A few people here and there make mischievous everywhere, and they are not earning the good name, and the people don't like them. So the majority of even the common world is anyhow in a way they are doing good usually, but perfectly said. We listen that perfectly said. the world here, maybe the people of the good world, good people world. So we have to think the other part also. So nobody actually in a school, if one person, one boy is notorious and the other children do not like him, the teachers don't like them, one or two people in the school, they will spoil the atmosphere and the teachers and the other students will not like them. So in any way, we have to think both ways too. Thank you, Sarah.
Saira, I think in Kali Yugas, the same way you said, the few handful of people are good. In the meantime, the mixed characters also, they are good and bad in one person.
Yeah.
The person can, we come to this world to act like God is the director, we are the actors. But here, one person is double acting here, like acting as a good person and also acting as a bad person. But only God knows what character he's playing. I think what that kind of character is hard to understand, good or bad, Saira.
So that is not our business too, no? Whether to judge. So that is not our business. But what I am saying
No,
is,
Saira, because I say the Kali has in one man is a good character and bad character is there. That's why.
That is true. That is true. That is true. But generally, people, some people, a few students in school, or few men in the society are usually marked as bad. So nobody likes people like them. No, that's it. Yeah.
But in this paragraph, I really like the word, because there are other things we don't know right and wrong. But only thing, as a spiritual aspirants, we have to go for the holy grace and love of the Lord only. That's the permanent joy. That's only the things you have to keep in mind. Everything is simple. You don't need to look at even. So if that's the way, if we progress, then that will give you the permanent joy. This Swami is saying, that's a nice one to keep in mind too. Thanks.
Thank you very much, sister. Any other thoughts, please?
Sairam, brother. So Swami is saying, so even the people like the good people who have good qualities. Same way, God also like the good people, but they have to be good not only outside, inside too. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother.
Sairam, there is a paragraph which says, "Do not tempted by the low, taste of the world and the cheap regard that people bestow." What does that mean?
Some people, sorry, Saira. Some people, okay, boast you are a good person, or you are generous, you are doing the charity like this and everything. So they will just say that, and it's something. But we should not take that others' common into account actually, because because it might change the next day. Today they may praise you as a good person, and the next day, tomorrow, they might say, "Oh, you're not a good person," because they comment. Their comments are coming based on their own selfish attitude. So that's what the Bhagawan is trying to say. When I read that, but I got that idea, but others can tell their opinion.
Thank you, Saira.
Yeah.
So this means that it's a follow-up on what Brother Sivadas just indicated. Swami beautifully said the affection that people shower is inconsistent, for it depends on their likes and dislikes. So in a way, Swami is telling that don't worry about the other people's comments. So just to just to have the firm faith in the God and go after the goat, not after the people or people's comments. So if we look at this one, so we shouldn't even worry about whether what the other peoples are saying, whether they are saying either I'm a good person or bad person or neutral person. Does it mean that I shouldn't worry about at all? I just thought about when I look at this one, may not be in spiritual parlance. The spiritual parlance, the people are a little more matured and they will think about. So in a very worldly parlance, even someone say, hey, you have done something bad, you have to correct it yourself. Can it think like that? Maybe that person doesn't like what I have done it in that particular moment. Maybe whatever I have done it, that could be right too. Whether can I ignore that person's comment based on this one? Just a question.
Saira Melody, please read the others, the following sentence too. Then is the Swami saying something else too.
In the last line or which line?
Yeah, last line. Those who are, yeah, the same line. Yeah, the one with the permanent joy.
Those who are enamored of the external.
Will tumble into disappointment and sorrow every now and then.
Yeah.
Saira, Swami has mentioned is a good people, that God-loving people and fear for sin, and also they are good characters. There's looking Swami, all those things are looking for that good people. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, I feel the society consists of good people as well as people with bad qualities. So those who are interested in their selfish ways, they come and praise the people saying that, oh, you are so good, you are doing a lot of seva, you are such a noble person. But Swami is saying, don't get enamored about all these qualities which they are praising you. Don't get intoxicated with those praises, because it depends on their likes and dislikes also. So those who are giving into that, and those who are enamored of the external will tumble into disappointment and sorrow every now and then. Some people, someday they will praise you to skies, and someday they'll put you down. So we should not be affected by all this. But our only goal must be to get the love and affection of the Lord, holy grace and love of the Lord.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
Sairam, I think Swami is trying to tell us, don't be attracted by the worldly things which are perishable, which are transient and which not permanent. Try to derive the joy which is permanent from God. From God, we are not going to be disappointed at all. So try to focus your mind on Swami and try to follow his commands, do things to make him happy, to please him. That will be the permanent joy we will get. We are not going to get joy from all transient things of this world. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, Auntie. So at 4:44, I'm just Brother Rangai from, I think, Saskatchewan. I guess he joined late because they have not changed the time, and we have changed the time in Ontario. So I will give a short summary of whatever we discussed for his benefit and for our revision also. And on this topic of, I think it's just Anandi's question. I don't know whether she's fully satisfied with. I think everyone has covered different points, but there's one point I thought I would touch, which is, should we ignore their comments, is what the question she asked. I think just Anandi Swami has spoken about when people say things, he says we have to just evaluate and see if there is truth in it. If there is truth in it, it's an opportunity for us to improve ourselves. If we feel that there is no truth in, or if there's nothing much for us to change, then we can just ignore it, and we don't have to be affected by it. I think that is the way we have to take other people's criticism of us. We have to always, if somebody is saying something, we should pay a little attention at least to evaluate whether it, how we can improve using that piece of information. But we should not be, feeling so down over they think this of us. And I think that's what Swami is saying. That's being enamored. I think everyone has touched that. Because on the other side, if somebody praises, it's better to ignore it. Always ignore what others praise, because there's no good coming out of it. Because if at all anything else, we will just feel, oh, we are so good. So I think if anyone praises, we should just ignore. That should, if at all anything to be ignored, I would say, if people say good things, we should ignore it. If people say bad things, we should take notice and evaluate whether we can improve. That's my personal view.
That's why I don't take my husband comments seriously.
Thank you so much, Brother Aruno. That's exactly that point. I took it in my mind. If someone praise us, we can ignore. If someone brings something, hey, Anandi, you have to really change your attitude or something, whether I should ignore or whether I have to evaluate that one. Thank you so much, Brother Aruno. You just read my mind. Thank you so much.
Sairam, brother, a very good explanation, Sairam.
So, Sairam, brother, I'd like to add one more point to that one. In case if you're trying to say something about some opinion about the other person to correct the person, but you should never ever use your temper. You have to try to say it in a loving manner and try to educate the person nicely and politely. Then there's a possibility of changing the person. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you.
Sairam, brother, when you were discussing to the Indian public in the Tamil, I think, so they were, after that comments time, 1, 2, 3 people were praising you, that good Tamil, good Tamil. Then you said, okay, I don't want this. You said politely, I don't need this one, okay. But I want tell me any defects, any improvement that I can make from my speech. You said to them. So, okay, it was very nice, and you repeated it here. But nobody said anything, but the way you look at it. Thank you, Sarah.
Yes, this is what Swami has told us again and again. If you're getting any good name, it is because it's why you are standing next to me that you are getting it. Yeah. So don't think it is because of you. Yeah. But if there's, we have to find out how we can stay close to Swami. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give a brief summary of what we discussed, just a recollection. If I miss any points, others can share. So what we discussed today was that in our stage of evolution, from childhood, we are going into adolescence or youth. So Swami says we have gone from the mother's care to the father's care, which is Shiva. And there we should try systematically to uproot any evil tendencies we have. And Swami says that is the only way we can get to the source from which we have come. And which basically means we have to swim against the current of evil qualities. And Swami has listed lots of evil qualities which all of us are familiar with. Swami says, and when we do this swimming against the current, often we can face strain because it's a challenge. And he says meditation can act as a raft which will remove or reduce the strain of us battling these tendencies by ourselves. And we all understood based on all the comments that meditation is nothing but namasmarana and meditation and namasmarana and japa, which basically will take the strain off this arduous journey to the source from which we have all come. And then now again, Swami is in the last slide, Swami is again re-emphasize the need to cultivate good qualities. And he says, when we are cultivating good qualities, just we should have the focus that the Lord should be pleased as the sole goal, and we should not be affected by the praises or the jibes by the world around us, and because that can continually change, because human beings are prone to lots of changes in their own mental state. And so we should not be affected, because if we get enamored by them, we will face sorrow and disappointment now and then. And those were, in my view, were the points which were discussed. It was a wonderful discussion, wonderful study circles. If anyone, I will just wait for a few seconds. If anyone has something to say, if anything I had missed, I'll wait for it. And if there is none, then we will close. Saira. Okay, Sairam, everyone. It was wonderful satsang. So we will close the study circle with Samasta Lokansha. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Sai Ram.
Thank you,
Sai
Sai
Ram.
Ram.
Sai Ram. Thank you so
Thank you,
much. Thank you
Sairam.
so much.
Thank you.